So yesterday, Netter and I binged the last two episodes of Stranger Things season 4. And wow, that was a ride. We'll get into it. So, again, this isn't going to be a full on review, other than to say, gosh, I loved it. Netter loved it. This was definitely a tick up from the season 3. Great way to cap off the season 4 that we've seen up to this point. Loved it. Definitely recommend it. If you like the first couple seasons of Stranger Things, definitely see this one. But a couple small points. There was a theme that I think they kind of picked up from previous, actually a negative I think they got on the previous season, which was that everyone was all separated and, we didn't get to see them together until the end. And, that was kind of a bummer. This one played with that in a very interesting way. There was several groups spread out around the globe, really. But they find a way to come together even though they're not physically together, which I couldn't help but think that it was meant to be some sort of an analog of what we've all kind of gone through over the past couple years. And who knows, maybe even a commentary on this, decentralized way of communication that we have, over the internet and so forth. So I found that kind of interesting, kind of cool, and I thought they did it brilliantly, in a way that even when they were separated, I really felt like the stories were really, really tied together very well. This was another production that I felt focused on that concept of tribe. I talked about it in the last video when I talked about the Minions, where they specifically used that term. They also specifically used that term in the book of Boba Fett. This idea of disparate people that may not be, biological family, but, what is it they say? Friends are the family you choose for yourself. That's really what we're getting at when we're talking about tribe. Now, I don't think the word tribe actually came up in Stranger Things, but I definitely got the feel for that theme, which I'm always going to love. That's always going to, hit me in the feels. I think this is a great setup for the final season. At least at this point, they're saying season 5 will be the last season. Not a cliffhanger. Don't worry about that. There are definitely some open threads, but everything's kind of status quo by the end of the last episode. So, you can stew for a little while until season 5. And it's sad, but I feel like I have to make this comment every time I discuss some piece of pop culture these days. How woke is it? And honestly, I'm going to say the same thing I did about Minions. There are some elements that if you are very sensitive and you're really looking for it and you want to point at something, you can find a couple of little things that you might call woke. I don't think they are. I think they are pretty appropriate, especially because we are, again, like I said with Minions that took place in the 70s, this is a story that takes place in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s. I recognize the feel, the things that they're getting at. So what? I'll be specific. There's two main characters that are gay, and both, I guess the term would be closeted. Right? The male character doesn't tell anyone, can't bring himself to tell anyone. I think his brother knows and kind of gives him one of those, subtle, I love you no matter what kind of things, but neither one really acknowledges it. Female character going through a lot of the same things, interested in a girl, thinks she might be, but might not be. Look, the fact is, I don't care what you think about, there are people in this world that are gay, okay? You may or may not agree with that, but it happens. And, you gotta accept people where they are, and you gotta have compassion for somebody who is in a situation like that, because let's face it, dating is hard enough. When you generally assume that, the person you're interested in at least likes the your gender, right? When you're not sure, when a small minority of people is your target, it could be very, very difficult. All the more difficult if it's not considered socially acceptable, you're afraid to lose friends over it, that kind of thing. So it really kind of makes you stop and think and, have some compassion for these people, right? But if that is your threshold for what is woke, I think you're way, way oversensitive, okay? You gotta, would you call this messaging? I don't think this is messaging, but, if it is, it's messaging I don't really have a problem with. That's really all I could think about that you might nitpick at being woke. So that is all I'm going to say about this show, because anything else I would say would totally be getting into spoilers. Boy, even if I were to start talking about the music, it would force me to talk about plot elements that would be spoilers. And I really don't want to do that, because even though I usually don't care about spoilers myself, this is one I'm glad I pretty much went into cold and got to just experience it. So yeah, if you have any interest in this show, if you enjoyed the first few seasons, even if you didn't like the last one, I would really recommend this one to you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful to you on this particular topic, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care. So, quick update, I just saw that as I was recording this video, a video dropped from Big Al of Big Al Presents. He just did his review. It's a full spoiler review. So if you want spoilers, get on over there and check that out. If you've already seen Stranger Things and just want to get his take on it, go over there and check it out. Either way, the link will be in the description below.